Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 6 of the FrostBound SMP. We are just flying and gliding. So, the last episode, we did a lot of digging. And now, this episode, we are going to finally be placing up the walls and the rest of the framing that's necessary. And the remainder of the digging for the rest of the underwater aquarium part. Alrighty, so let's get to it. First, let's chop some wood. So what I have so far is these arches. I couldn't add any more, otherwise it's going to start impacting this wall. So instead, I've come to the idea that maybe I should add an enchanting table. So I went and quickly grabbed an enchanting table. And that is going to be the main focal point that people are going to be looking at when they walk down here. So if we start all the way over here, you can see the enchanting table setup, which will be very nice. So you can walk over. I'm probably going to make this area as well focused on probably furnaces, crafting tables, all of that. And I'm going to here. And it's just going to be its own like smaller archway in this situation. So I got the stairs, and so what we're going to do is the same situation. And so I was going to add again that look, but because it's going to be on the lower side, I think I'm going to actually change it up and introduce some moss. So the enchanting table setup is probably going to go this way. The backdrop for now is not really a priority. The priority is just making sure everything looks good from the beginning perspective. So now we have kind of like a veranda, and with the moss block that we're going to be adding here, it's just going to add that little bit of greenery. And we only have up to this section, so remember the glass ceiling is going to be above this part. So probably, I believe, was that 3 blocks? Yep, 3 blocks of space, which is plenty to work with. So for now, we're just going to add this very blocky look. What we're going to do later is we're just going to fix it up. For now, this is just a placeholder to what we really want, because I just need to figure out what's going to be the actual look of this place. Probably also going to... Actually, I want to keep it there, and I'm going to see how it looks with the green. Again, this is the enchanting room section, so a lot of this is going to actually be covered by books. But that is looking quite nice. For now, gotta keep everything lighted, make sure there's no mob spawning. The next question of the area is this section over here. So this area already has quite a lot of chests. I'm going to be, what is this, since it's 16 in each section, I'm going to have 48 on both sides. It's going to be plenty of space for materials. I can also add some more. So let me see where it would fit. So we're going to have mostly this space available. Let me see what we can do for the wall. So it's not going to be a perfect 5 just because this middle one here has 6, but that'll be fine. It's not going to be as seen. So for this area, it's still going to be 5. And so this is going to be the main focal point right here. So I'm going to just mark that because it is still the middle of this row, and then this is going to be the middle of this row. I'm going to add here a mixture of chests, anvils, anything else that I might need. For now, I believe just getting the walls up would probably be a great help. I need to grab a whole lot more dark oak. What's in my inventory? The 61 logs is all I own. And I'm also going to need to start thinking about making a bamboo farm. Just because wasting a lot of the wood is not going to be beneficial, while bamboo grows really quickly. And since you can turn them into bamboo planks, it's going to be a lot cheaper to make chests with. So I'll have to make a farm. For now, I'm just going to see how much I can place down and go from there. All right, let's get to it. So now at this point, I'm just trying to add up all the walls. I got a decent amount of wood, so I'll try and go as far as possible. And then I only have a decent amount of green concrete as well. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting on these blank walls. Over time, we can definitely decorate them with some shelving, maybe some bookcases, paintings. For now, I'm just trying to get them up on the wall. If you're trying to recreate this, the walls are up to 9 blocks, so 6, 7, 8, 9, and then your glass is going to start right up here as well. But I haven't made the glass yet, so I'm not going to be able to show you what the glass looks like, but I'm just trying to keep moving on this wall, see how far we can go until I need to start making green terracotta. I should have enough for more green terracotta as well. So let's get these walls in. Let's go. The main goal next, I'm thinking I'm going to start digging out the floor, simply because I want to get the black concrete in here, but unfortunately that means I'm going to have to move the beacon, and the beacon has the mining effect right now, and I'd have to completely move it, and I don't even know if I want to keep it up here anymore since there's not going to be that many digging projects. So it's better that I just take it down now. It's better that I take the floor out now just because I have the beacon still here. And once we're done with the floor, we can move on to the ceiling. Alright, let's get to it. When it comes to what I want the actual bottom area to look like, I'm thinking fish tank. So what I want is enough space for fish. So I want them to comfortably swim down here. So that means I would have to at least be probably 3 blocks, and then I'm going to probably want to do some sort of ground, so we're probably going to be digging like 4 blocks down. So 2, 3, 4. So this is as far as we're going to be digging. Right now I only have an idea of what I want. I'm currently just trying to empty this out, and then I can work from there. When it comes to the walls, unfortunately, I am going to have to figure out how I want to hide it better, but I'm just going to try and dig out all of this before I do that. So let's get to it. I added all of the wood into the area. As you can see, we now have beams that are going to go into the water section. And I also want to let you know that I did change it from 4 blocks down to 5 blocks because I kind of forgot that we needed a glass layer in between, because I don't feel like swimming through water to get to my storage unit. So I still wanted to have the 3 layers for the fish to swim, and then obviously the area I'd need to dig out so I could put the substrate or the bottom section to be in. So 5 layers it became. Now, as I was putting in all of these pillars, I was thinking, how am I going to make the walls? So the horrible idea that I came to was moving it from deep slate tiles into blackstone. Now, why is it horrible? It's because blackstone's annoying to collect, so I'm gonna have to go and do that as well. The reason why I'm doing blackstone is because the bottom section here is going to be a lot of mud and like muddy roots. So it's going to be very dark and brown and black. But I'm going to be putting a lot of vegetation like seagrass in here to add that coloring back in. But the walls are going to make it a lot nice. It's going to be a lot nicer if I make it on the darker side. Alright, gotta go collect that mud. I'll be off to it. Alright, after a quick time lapse of me collecting mud, we now have quite a bit. Finding the muddy mangrove roots is a little bit harder than the mud, so we only have not even 3 stacks of this, but thankfully the rest of the mud is pretty good. Now I have the blackstone, the deep slate tiles, and cobbled deslate, but I wanted to try to see if the mud fit much better with this, which I believe so. So let me show what my thought process is, which is going to be a bit this, where I'm going to be doing the mangrove roots sporadically near logs. Here, I was leaving this alone, so I'm going to quickly add the terracotta because I think it's important to just get that going so I can visualize it a lot better. Oh man, there is a mob captain up there. Yeah, I need to figure out why there is spawning up there, but it's not really going to matter too much seeing as I want to take down the beacon anyway very soon. All I'm just going to be doing right now is filling this area in, get the walls in, get the floor in. After that, I'm going to have to start smelting up a lot of glass. I'm not sure what color. I think a black stained glass will do the best, but I'll see how it goes. Black stained glass will probably be as well for the ceiling, just because I want to give it more of a Starry Night feeling. Oops, wrong button. So that's what I have in mind. There's also a trick that you can do, actually, end rods in between the glass panes, so you can get like an actual starry effect. We have this huge area. We're going to be putting a mix of black concrete and frog lights up on the ceiling so that we can have a glowing effect. It might even be better to just add a bunch of frog lights to the ceiling. The black concrete is going to be filling up the rest of this wall here, so there will be a very noticeable difference between the the green terracotta going into the black concrete. And then I'm going to be layering it, so it'll be every other layer. So it's going to be this layer, this one, and this one, and then in between, that's where we'll put the end rods. So it's better to start actually from the top down, just because when you place the end rods, it's better to do it from above, so you don't really get the actual bar on the bottom area because you want it to look like stars. So you need to have it facing down. Once we get to the last layer of stained glass, it'll be around top, and then I might try and see if I can get those endermites in, because I hear it will give you a really cool effect, and I just want to try. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot that there's no mob creeper blows. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm glad that's nothing, because I completely forgot he was down here. Alright, let's get back to this, and I will come back once it's all set. Let's get to it. There we go. Unfortunately, I noticed as I was literally placing the last 2 blocks how my OBS decided it did not want to stop correctly, so I was not able to keep the footage about me talking. But what I did say is that I had enough of the black stained glass, and I also put in the sea pickles, as you can see here, so that it's lit up well enough where I don't have to worry about drown. I do need to take out a few more torches, and that's going to be the next step, as I'm going to be getting into here now, getting rid of the last bit of torches that are still around here, and bone mealing the actual mud. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of bone meal, so what I'm just going to do for a bit is just add this. I am still debating actually, because I've come to realize how I actually really like the look of just one layer of water currently. Here, let me get out of here real quick. It's quite lovely, I won't lie, and I would be able to keep frogs in here, so it would go well with the mangrove look, but I am unsure just yet. And it would be much easier to keep it as this than to take out the water if I were to add it. So I do not know. I'm going to have to leave this, I guess, to your opinion on what I should do. For now, I'm going to continue working on the next part, which is going to be the ceiling. I'm also going to finish up the rest of the slabs, because that's how we're going to be walking around on the top part. Since, as you can see with the chests, they're going to be going up. There's 9 levels, so we have 9 spaces. And obviously, by the time you reach up to the top part, it's really hard to get, and it will just add for a little bit of aesthetic. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using dark oak slabs along with dark oak stairs to add some detail. So I'm going to be putting on every log here stairs so that it shows as support. So as you go along, it shows some support. For the internal ones right here, I'm thinking of making it so that it has this trio, but I'm not sure if I like it or not. This is what it looks like otherwise, which also looks really lovely, but the trio also works well. So for now, I think I'm just going to add it as a trio. And later, if I feel like it's not working still, then I can just swap it out. So I'm just going to be quickly adding all of this. As I move along, I'm just going to be focusing on just making the details look like it fits in perfectly. Alright, so I got so far this front area. I'm also going to be making it so that it's the same on in the inside and on the outside section as well. So these are going to be swapped out. This is an older version that I had going, or an older idea I had going. So I just want to make sure that it's all working. With a little bit of time, I've collected a bunch of black concrete. So I've taken what I found in my storage, and then I got like 4 more stacks of concrete. So we're going to see how much that goes. I did get rid of the beacon, so now it's just a diorite ceiling. I'm going to do the walls first. So if I head up here, I'm going to just be placing it just like this. So the main goal is just to fill this in, bring it up to the level, all the way up to here, and see how much I can get done. The ceiling's probably just going to take a while. I'm most definitely going to need to grab some more black concrete at some point. It's just not the most fun block to grab because I also need to find more gravel and sand. With the large amount of glass I'm smelting at the moment, I am running through a lot of my sand storage currently. So I'm only at like a few stacks left. Let's do a quick time lapse of this, see how much we can get done, and then have to go and make some more concrete. Alright, let's get to it. So I was able to get this much. Oh no, I missed one. So I missed one concrete block here, but we were able to get a good chunk of the wall up with, I believe it was around 8 concrete stacks. So we got a little bit more to go. And then the ceiling. So I feel like another 8 would be perfect. I'm just going to need to, unfortunately, grab a bunch of sand and a bunch of gravel. And hope for the best that I have enough squid ink. I do not have enough squid ink. This is going to be a huge collection. Alright, let's get to it. So I didn't really do a time lapse of the collection of the concrete just because I realized that I had enough sand and gravel and I just needed to go quickly kill some more squid. So thankfully I have now 7.5 stacks. Hopefully this will be enough because I would cry if it's not. We are going to finish off the rest of the walls up here. Here I can fly. So we got this section, this wall, and then finishing up a little bit. And then we're going to see how much we can do for the ceiling. Hopefully with the ceiling, I'll be getting a bunch of frog lights in probably the next episode. Just because this has become already such a big project and I don't want this episode to be going much longer than it needs to. We can definitely break up this build. So let me finish adding in the black concrete, which is literally just a wall here. So I'm just going to be finishing up the rest of this wall, and then after that I'll probably be calling it an episode. Alright, let's get to it. Final time lapse. So I finished working on the concrete walls. As you can see, we finished that. And then I also added, with the remainder of the concrete, added to the ceiling. It wasn't that much, so I just placed it here. And then I started lighting up the area with the torches just because it was starting to get really dark. Now I ran out of concrete, as previously stated, so I'm going to need to focus on getting more of the concrete. I'm also going to need to get a lot more black dye. I ran out of the squid ink, and I even had to go killing some squids previously to get the rest of that. So I'm just going to have to get some more somewhere. I'm also going to be collecting a bunch of the glass, so I'm going to be smelting that. This is going to be the end of episode 6. On episode 7, we're probably going to be looking at making that bamboo farm I was talking about way back in episode 5, just because I want to make sure I don't have to constantly mine for trees, and just getting a bamboo farm is just very convenient in general, especially if you're wanting to make basic items like sticks, chests, anything else like maybe barrels. It's just a cheap alternative compared to constantly collecting a bunch of wood and going through my axe constantly. As you can see with this, we have a lot of chests to fill, seeing as how we have 9 rows of just chests, and they're going to be double chests, and it's going to be in each of these sections. So there's 6 sections in totals, so I want to make sure I'm having a cheap alternative. I will probably be working on that in episode 7, along with finishing up the ceiling. And once that's the case, I'm going to be figuring out how I'm going to be organizing everything. That'll probably be off the video. You don't have to see me constantly moving a bunch of stuff. But what I do need you guys to decide from this video is what's going to happen beneath. So this area right here is 1 block. As I said earlier in this episode, I do like this 1 block look, but I did say I might move it up to the full area here. So what would happen is I would have either frogs and axolotls in this section, or if it's the full, I would be adding fish. I'm going to leave it up to you as the viewer to decide, so write down in the comments what you would prefer. Should I fill up the tank fully, or should I just keep it at this 1 block level? Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, and if you're interested in what happens next, please hit that subscribe button. That would really push this channel, and I'd greatly appreciate any support that's given. And if you want to comment on what I should do with this aquarium area beneath me, definitely leave a comment saying how you feel. Otherwise, you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in episode 7. Bye!